recording. Now I'm recording on the cloud.
Yeah, perfect. And they'll send you an email, and then you can just forward us they'll send you two links. One is a non-shareable link, and the other one will be a shareable link. Please send us the shareable one.
Will do.
Thank you.
Sounds good. Okay, cool. I wanted to introduce from the RIM team. So I have Blanca, who is our implementation specialist. So she's running a lot of the onboarding, and I know Gary's has worked with you on setting up the first part of the ACH. Then I have Jonathan, who's our operations manager and licensed broker in LA. And then I have Stacey Helen, who is our director of compliance and custom brokerage. And then myself, I'm the branch manager with RIM in LA. So,
Nice to meet you.
Sorry, go ahead.
Nice to meet you. We've got on our side, we've got Lauren Bull, who's our manager of accounting, and Irene Zuo, who's our senior staff accountant, and also Nicole Blount, who's in charge of accounts payable, accounts receivable, and payroll.
Okay, nice to meet all of you. So we the agenda for today was Stacey will start going over the ACE portal, the setup and all that stuff for the demo, and then we'll talk a little bit more about how is it going to work on the ACH going forward, right? With Jonathan, we'll talk more in depth on that, how it works with sending out statements and so forth and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So, and if any questions, feel free to raise your hand and ask.
Yeah.
So we can get them answered.
Just a little context on our end. We have an ACE portal account. We've kind of bumped around in there, and I don't know who designed that thing, but boy, oh boy, it's like trying to drive the space shuttle.
Well, it started in I think the first seminar I ever went to was in 1999, and they've changed it a little bit, but I think the original architecture may be somewhat the same as what it was back then. But anyway.
Okay, thank you.
Well, so thank you guys for joining. I'm gonna focus on the ACE portal and the reporting and the functionality and all that, but I'm gonna spend like 3 minutes just kind of giving a quick, I have a PowerPoint, I'm not gonna share it in presentation mode, but I just wanna share a little bit of what the context of what ACE is intended to do. Is that okay if I do that, or do you?
Absolutely, please.
Okay.
We are like sponges.
Okay.
We wanna learn.
Yeah, I won't spend too much time on this because I know our main objective is getting into the reports and the financial stuff on the actual portal.
You want to just give us some context, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
For me as a compliance person, that's just how it's hard to talk about something if I don't feel like the audience is all kind of on the same page. So
Yeah, we love compliance over here at Happy's Baby.
Okay, so this is again, I'm not going to go through all of this, but this is I'll send you this if you want it.
Oh, yeah, please.
Okay, but it really just kind of explains what ACE is in the background and then the functionality in it, and why from customs perspective it's so important for importers and exporters to have the portal, to use the portal as part of your, not only your financial program, but also your compliance program overall.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna clarify a few things. So the ACE stands for Automated Commercial Environment. As I said, it's something that Customs has been working on for a little over 20 years. They wanted to take this automated commercial system, which is what they started in the 80s when trade started becoming automated initially. This is their 2.0 version of trade automation. And the thing that people get confused about is the fact that ACE really has, and the best analogy I've come up with, if you guys have a better one, I'm all ears, but it's kind of like there's 2 lanes on a highway. And one lane is the ACE portal, which is open to all trade stakeholders. You guys have your account as an importer, and you may have an account as an exporter as well. That's one lane of the highway. The other lane of the highway is it's still part of the automated commercial environment, but it's one where you have to have an EDI software connectivity, which is what filers use, which whether you're an importer self-filer or whether you're a customs broker, they're 2 different ways to talk to ACE. So that's something that people get confused about. This kind of illustrates that a little bit more, that, you know, as a customs broker, we have that EDI connectivity through the system we use, which is called CargoWise. Brokers use different software. Some brokers have their own proprietary self-programmed software. So there's different ways to accomplish that lane of the highway. Then this next slide, and there's a bunch of things to click through here, but just to drive the point home that the portal lane, the web access ACE portal, it is available to all the different stakeholders, whether you're an importer, a customs broker, ocean carrier, truck. In fact, truck manifests along the southern and northern border were some of the earliest adapters of using ACE because it helped facilitate that volume of trade so well. Do you guys do much border trade, or is yours mostly from Asia?
Asia.
Okay, so that doesn't.
We do some Canada, exports to Canada.
Okay. And then rail, obviously, they also use ACE, both from the EDI connectivity piece as well as the portal piece. This slide really talks about the different things that you can do, whether you're using the portal or whether you're using the software connectivity. So that's another way to illustrate the different functionality. Some things you can do in both, but there's a lot of things that you can only do in one or the other. Does all that make sense so far?
Yes.
Okay. So let's see here. Just to kind of circle back with the compliance piece, I don't want to harp on this too much, but if you listen to customs, if you ever listen to a customs presentation, whether you're listening to import specialists or regulatory audit people, their expectation is, and let me go back over to this slide. Their expectation is, hey, if you're taking advantage of benefiting financially by importing your goods from overseas and selling them domestically or selling them overseas, whatever the case is, then you should have ownership over how accurate and how compliant your data is. And you can really use the ACE portal to do that, because if you think about it, kind of like your individual, you can think of the ACE portal somewhat analogous to how you would think of your own individual tax return. You wouldn't want to submit something that you hadn't double checked or had an expert help you with to the IRS. At least most people wouldn't. So same kind of thing with your trade declarations, your customs entries or your EEI export declarations. You would want to make sure and monitor the people that you're helping, that were helping you accomplish those things, to make sure they were accurate for classification, for value, all of those things. So the reporting that we're going to look at is not only valuable for the financial management of your statement payment, but it's also useful to do audits on your data that's being declared to the government. So let's see here. I think that's pretty much the spiel on what ACE is.
Is it safe to presume from our vantage point that if we go into our ACE portal, we can see all the stuff that RIM imported on our behalf
Yes.
into the United States, and any other freight forwarders for that matter,
Yes.
who may have done so?
100%. So, and that's, you know, a lot of importers, when they're first getting acquainted with their ACE portal, they get some surprises because they see whether it's integrators, that would be a UPS, DHL, FedEx, that's doing filings with your tax ID number without your knowledge, or there's somehow, depending on Incoterms or who knows why, there's all kinds of different reasons that there may be brokers that you're not aware of making entry with your tax ID number. And that's one of the things that you can catch really quickly, is you would see a broker filing entries with your tax ID number and you wouldn't necessarily be aware of it. And you can either figure out how to manage that relationship above board, or put a stop to it.
Okay.
Another, you know, from a commercial side, the data is really helpful to share with different departments in a company, depending on how you're structured. We're talking about the finance piece with the statement today. But if you have internal audits going on, you have visibility to that data directly. You can marry it up with your broker data. Because in the ACE portal, you aren't able to get down to the SKU level, but you are able to get down to the entry line level. So it's really helpful to have that double check to make sure things are lining up. If you have issues with holds or exams and that kind of thing, there's different reports that you can run to try and figure out the root causes there. Is it a certain supplier that's causing the issue? You know, whatever the case is.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, so let's go ahead. Are there any questions about any of this stuff? You guys have already got your portal, so all the application part doesn't really apply.
When you say application, what do you mean?
Just to, part of this was actually applying and getting your account. So you already have your account, so that part doesn't apply to you.
Gotcha. Okay.
All right, so if there's no questions on this stuff, let's go ahead. And thank you for being patient and letting me go over that.
No, it's awesome stuff. We love it.
All right, well, so now we'll go ahead and go into the portal, and you're gonna see, I just signed in, and I think Nicole helped us to where, and you feel free to remove me after today. I don't need to continue to see your portal unless you want me to for some reason. But for the purposes of this demo, I went ahead and got access to your read only so that we can look at your live data and the reports that you have.
Oh, that's awesome. I love it.
Yeah, thank you, Nicole, I think, for helping us with that. So you see when you, can you guys see okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you first sign in to the portal, the landing page, if you had any communication from customs that they were asking you about, I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with something called the CF28 or CF29. Have you ever heard those terms?
I have, but I forgot what it means.
So what customs does, usually it's long after your shipments have been delivered and duty has been paid, their process is for basically the next calendar year, if they determine that they want to look at your commodity, your company, for whatever reason, they might be looking a little deeper at your entries. They have a 314-day period after the original entry to go ahead and ask questions. And the way that they ask questions formally is sending these forms. It's called a Customs Form 28, which is a request for information. And then a Customs Form 29 is a notice of action. If you had any of those against your account, you would see them on this landing page. So I'm going to show you something that you may want to consider updating to make sure that you receive those in the correct way here in a second. But that's really the main thing on this landing page, is to see those communications from customs. And then they honestly are doing a little better with keeping up with these little news bullets, but they're kind of, they're not too great with keeping these as up to date as they really should, to be honest, because the last one was from May. So really what you want to do after you sign in and after you're on your landing page and you verify whether or not you have anything you need to respond to, then what you want to do is click over to the account tab. And this whole system is very much based, the top part is your major buckets of where you are from a functionality perspective. And then on the left-hand side are the various tasks you can do inside of each functionality segment. So within the account page, since it defaults, and it does this across the board, it defaults to the broker view. You want to, this should be your immediate step as you go in, because you're not a broker, and you select go and change that to importer. And that way all your information will show up properly when you move around throughout the portal. If you don't do that, then your reports aren't going to work, and you're going to immediately know, oh, I forgot when I signed in to fix my account type to be importer.
Gotcha.
Something that is, before we go into the accounting, or I mean to the ACH reports, let me show you something here. This would be a valuable thing for someone within the Happiest Baby team to take ownership of. because customs is now, especially in certain ports, they're being more aggressive, filing penalties for late ISFs. And as perfect as brokers and filers try to be, even the most compliant broker that I'm aware of is still only at 97% compliance, which, you know, you want to avoid even one late ISF if you can, because when customs issues the penalty, they're initially $5,000. So a few of those can add up quickly. Even though there is opportunity to mitigate that initial penalty, it's still a kind of headache to go through that process.
Mm-hmm.
What you need to do here is not get an error. That is really frustrating. Give me a second. Of course, in a demo, it's going to do this. I may have to sign in again.
That happens to us too, by the way.
Oh, nope. I don't know if they're doing maintenance or what, but it didn't make me sign in. Thank goodness, again. What you have to do, because the import or the ISF reports, and this is something on Customs work queue right now to change this. But in the current environment, you cannot access these reports in the report portal. If you want to see how your status is with your ISF filing accuracy and timeliness, you have to go in and subscribe to these reports. I'm not going to do this because I'll let your trade account owner do that. But what you do want to do is subscribe to these reports, and then the following month you will see the reports associated with your account, and you can see, okay, do I have certain brokers or filers that are doing really well and they're all on time, and then another one I need to talk to. But it's really something you should be monitoring as an importer to make sure that there's not any issues within your supply chain with these being consistently late.
Okay.
All right, so we will go ahead and jump into the reports, and I will come back to the CF28, CF29 functionality that I mentioned in the beginning, but I want to make sure we have time to do the reports.
Stacey, really quick, do they need to change their account view to importer each time they log in, or is it
Yes.
Okay, each time.
Each time, yeah. It defaults every time you sign in, and this has been something we've been complaining about forever, but it's still the way it is.
So they don't have, you can't set a preference.
Not that I have been made aware of, no. You have to go in and change this every time.
Okay.
So when you're in this account tab, again, so far we've gone over the home tab. We're in the account tab. These are the different things you can do here. The ISF tab lives here. And then this tab is really just reference information around anti-dumping and tariff information and things like that. So this is really where you live most of the time. You go ahead and click launch, and then this pops up another window. This is some kind of business intelligence tool, I think, that they have, that SAP maybe have designed. I'm not really sure. Then you go ahead and click, there is functionality to create ad hoc reports where you add in the different objects. And by objects, what that means is, are you familiar with looking at your 7501 document?
No.
Okay, so basically any field that gets transmitted to customs, you can pull into a report, whatever you want to know. So that's what that is.
Okay.
So we will go here, and again, the same kind of architecture as far as how you navigate. You've got your major buckets up here, and then your different detail over on the left. So we're focused on statements.
Yeah.
And there are 3 different reports. To me, the most detailed one is the detailed daily report is the most useful, because you get the same information you get in these overview reports in here.
Yep.
And something to be aware of, if you want large range of data, it's a good idea to go in here. It defaults with entries that are only not paid and authorized. If you want to see entries that are also paid, you need to go ahead and add in that status. It doesn't automatically have that there. So just something I've learned from playing around with this and trying to help importers have visibility to everything they're looking at to reconcile things and know, you know, what's going to come out of their bank account next month or what came out last month, make sure it makes sense. You need to add that on.
Oh. Can you open that left window a little bit? Like, see the little 3 dots on the gray bar? No, down, up, left.
Oh, over here?
Yeah. I see. So you're looking at daily payment status, not paid, authorized, paid. And you're saying select all of them. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And that's kind of like the basic detailed report we're going to want to pull, right?
That's my recommendation. I mean, I'll show you the overview report to compare.
That's okay. You convinced us.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I do want to show you, and we'll also send the, these are the dates that the periodic monthly statement is prepared each month. The preliminary, which is not, it's telling you this is what we're gonna take, or this is based on the entries that have been filed for the previous 30 days. This is what's gonna be due from your account. You do have an opportunity between here. If you think something's really wrong and it's a big amount of money, you have an opportunity to take it off.
Oh.
I'll just, I guess, preface that or caution you that if you do that, there's a lot of up to make sure the right amount gets paid correctly. And your really only option, if you, let's just say you had something that is on this month's statement and you saw, oh my God, somebody did something in the wrong currency and they have us for $500,000 duty instead of $5,000 duty. Well, that's a pretty big deal. You probably want to not have that come out of your account. So that would be worth the headache that ensues if you have it removed between this 11th day and this 15th day. But what happens when you do that is the only way to pay that $5,000 is with an actual check that gets cut. So it no longer is part of an ACH transmission. You would have to, that one entry that had the mistake on it would have to be paid with an actual check. So I just want to make sure that when you get to this stage, you do have an opportunity. Hopefully your broker, RIM, hasn't made that kind of mistake, but but just to let you know that isn't something that's available in between this 4 or 5 day, 3 to 4 day period.
Or we could claw it back retrospectively, right?
Pardon? Oh, yes, you can. Like if it did go ahead and get paid and it was incorrect, that there can be a post summary correction.
Okay.
But especially now with everything as wacky as it is, I know sometimes depending on the amounts, it can be significant, and just make that. All right, so we are going to go ahead and put in, I'm gonna just do this 1 month at a time. So I'm gonna go July 1st to July 31st.
No, I don't think that we were on the ACH program in July.
Okay.
But we'll see.
Right.
You're kind of cutting in and out, but I think we're going to just wait for this to run, right?
Yeah.
Okay. By the way, we've kind of been bumping around. Okay, never mind. Oh, look at that. So what is this telling us?
So this is showing that everything from July was paid, so that's good. And it shows that you've got a couple of different providers. And like you said, at this point, the statement type was not Happiest Baby's bank account. It's the broker's bank account, and then the broker is billing for the duty.
Oh,
Going forward, starting from entry dates from July 31st,
oh,
those, July 31st or August 1st, those will be on your pay type 7, which means the duty would be coming out of Happiest Babies Bank, and the broker would just be notifying you but not billing you.
okay. Now, can you go back to the left a little bit?
Mhm.
Okay.
And
I do want to point out, so RIM received the payer unit number, so that will be changed to payment type 7. But I think it's the responsibility of each broker to update their system. So if Flexport's going to be on ACH, you just would need to provide that payer unit number to them as well.
Gotcha.
Yeah, they asked us to turn on the statement, the periodic billing statement. Is that something that we do, or is that something that's automatically done, or how does that work?
since you already have the payer unit number and you're already approved for a periodic monthly statement, we could not be doing that pay type 6 if you hadn't already been, the switch had not been flipped in custom system for your tax ID number to be acceptable to be done on a monthly basis. So from my experience, all that needs to be done for any other broker is you give them that payer unit number and they would update their system where they have your company code with your company name, address, tax ID. There's a place in every software I've ever seen where they just go in and put pay type 7, payer unit number is, and that's all there is to it.
I see. Okay.
All right. So now we're exporting this report. Is that what's happening?
Yes, if you have, a relatively small amount of data, Excel works great. If you did like a whole year's worth of data or something, you might want to consider CSV because it's just easier to export.
Yep.
And then you can do whatever you want with formatting it. But exporting into Excel is really easy. Sorry, that's another spreadsheet. That's not the thing. That's mine. Okay, here it is.
Okay. Now, do they, you know how sometimes, like, I don't know if you ever use Power Query in Excel. Have you guys ever used that?
I have not, no.
Yeah, so Power Query will enable you to pull data down from web portals, but oftentimes you'll need an API from that web portal. Is it safe for me to presume that ACE isn't there yet?
I have never heard anybody talk about that. I can ask. There's a gentleman who I talk to on probably about a monthly basis at Customs. He's really great. If you have, questions that haven't been addressed before, he's the one that can answer them. So what is the question? And I can ask him if you have a Power Query.
In other words, does the ACE portal allow us to pull these reports via dedicated APIs? That's really all you need to ask him.
Okay. I will ask him.
So for example, in this scenario, this report, we would get like an API key and script, and we could load that into Excel. And then you see under your data menu in Excel, you go to your data menu, and then you go data from web. It's on the left. All the way, keep going, keep going, keep going.
Oh, there, okay.
There it is. Yeah, you could then, using that or some other method of programming Excel, you could then basically pull this same report down without having to go through all the clicks that you went through.
You just kind of set it up to do it for you.
Yeah, and then you just refresh.
Nice, okay.
Yeah.
I'll ask Carlos, and if he tells me yes, then I may look into that. That sounds pretty.
Believe it or not, the U.S. Federal Reserve publishes APIs for some of its reports. And so, for example, when we want to refresh our monthly exchange rates, all we have to do is open the workbook and click refresh.
Nice.
It is very nice.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and run another set of date range.
Uh-huh.
I want to show you that you can add objects to this if you want to, meaning other fields, and then
Sure.
also how to schedule these reports, which I guess if you have the API interface, scheduling them is maybe not necessary.
Let's, yeah, we'll take scheduling for now, for sure.
Okay,
Yeah,
let me just run another date.
okay. You're gonna do August, right?
Yeah. I'm gonna see if it'll let me go. This may cause a conflict, but I'm gonna see if this will work. So you
No.
can see,
Okay, and you're going all the way into September, which is the future,
right,
okay? And so it's gonna show us stuff in August that will be due in September, is that it?
depending, yes, it should.
Is that why you have to expand the date range? Because you want to also include the due dates?
Yes.
Okay,
Anything that is, it's a rolling 30-day cycle. So anything, yeah, it just gave me,
yeah, I guess nobody's using the 7s yet, huh?
well, the release
Oh.
date here, where's the release date?
So the duty is owed based on the release date.
Oh,
There's a release date. So the release date is the payer number, as I understand it, was updated on 7/31.
oh,
So that's everything that came through from July 1st to July 31st
oh,
going to be due on this August statement.
oh,
Everything that's going through August 1st to August 31st
oh,
will be due on the September statement.
oh. And the September statement's not available yet.
Well, so it should show us. Let me try running that again with just September, because I've made this work before. Give me a second. Let me export this one in case you, I'll send these both to you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so there's that one.
Now, these show the entry ID, like you got the filer code. Does it actually have the entry summary number?
Yes, so it has the daily statement number and then the monthly statement. See how that all of these dailies are going to be on the same
Yep.
monthly?
Yeah,
And then the entry summary number is there,
where?
right here.
Ah, gotcha.
And since we're here, I don't know, are there certain data elements that are really important to Happiest Baby that you're not seeing here?
So we like
oh.
we like to have, well, I don't know if it's in here, but like the shipment ID. So like REMS is like S00 something, so that whenever we search the REM portal, we could find like the documents that go with it, I guess. I don't know if that's an option, but that's something that we were looking for.
Let's see. I'm just doing this quick to see if it'll. And before we end the call, I know we still have about 20 minutes left, but there are some really good, and we can include this in the follow-up email. There's really good training tutorials. The same guy from Customs, I have no idea who he is, but he thinks he's really funny, and he's kind of funny. So they're like 2 to 6 minute videos that are on Customs website that show you how to do what I just did, which is go into the data element menu universe and then add different elements and then put them into the report. So is that what you're looking for?
Yep.
Yeah, so let me export it with that.
That's pretty cool.
See, huh?
Pretty,
It is cool. I
pretty,
didn't know it did that.
pretty cool.
It may get mad at me because I have 2 reports with the same. Oh, yeah, see?
Yeah.
Let me close that one. I'm intrigued by the API idea.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I'll fix that and get it to you so that you have the August data,
Okay.
the August data with the broker reference.
That sounds awesome.
But yeah, you can really, when you change it from the reading view to the design view, that's what allows you to, I have no idea what this weird little yellow thing is. That's what allows you to go in and add additional fields. Yeah, go in there, find the field that you're looking for, and then go back, open up this thing, available objects, and then drag the one that you selected into the screen, and then it plops that element into the report.
That's so cool.
And do I have it open? Forgive the clunkiness here. I had it open, but I couldn't find the tab. Their videos are really, really helpful. So we'll include this link, like I said, on the follow-up. So if you want to add objects to the report, they are in here.
Okay.
Yeah. So like, I think the longest one is like 6 minutes. So, and you can stop and start it. So the last thing I wanted to make sure I show you is how to schedule the reports, which they also have a training video on. Scheduling a recurring report.
Yeah.
So if what I show you here is confusing or something, that video is helpful, but you can also hit me up if you want to ask me a question as well. So really, once you create, I'm going to use this one as an example. Once you create a report that you want to have it run on a regular basis and email automatically to you, you go ahead and save it. And you save it in, we're going to just call this with broker reference. And you want to save it into your favorites folder. So then you go into your favorites folder.
Yeah.
And that's the one I just did right there. You click on it. Oop. Nope. Hold on, sorry. You right click on it, I apologize, and then you schedule it. And then you tell it, you basically follow through the list here. How often do you want it? Weekly or monthly? What day do you want it on? What time do you want it on? Friday. So Gary, from listening to you, you're probably familiar with how to navigate something like this. And then if you want it in Excel, I don't know what that means. I always just click for the same as the format.
Yeah.
And then the destination is where you put the email addresses. So
finance@happiestbaby.com.
okay,
Might as well, right?
I'm gonna just put the same.
Oh, I see. Oh, I thought you were doing the 2-line.
Yeah, well, it's okay. It can be both, unless you want. I don't know if you want it to come from me.
Well, isn't it going to come from the ACE portal?
Well, it lets you say who it's coming from.
I see. All right. Well, I mean, can we say that it's an ACE portal automated report so that, you know, because we have, well, I should just speak for myself. I have very short-term memory. So when I get it next week, if it says it's from me, I might get confused. But if it says, oh, it's your weekly report from the ACE portal or something like that, I don't know, whatever. Doesn't matter. Just, you know.
Is that okay?
Yep, that's perfect. Now, okay, beautiful. Now, we can also modify the schedule if we so desire, right?
Oh yeah, you can delete that one and do a different one.
Okay. Oh, now there's a lot of stuff going on in here. This is our account, huh? It looks like people have scheduled reports and stuff, right?
This, because it's my sign-on, this is that I just did. So it's,
Okay.
it has it for the future. It's going to be fine. So the reason you saw all those other reports is because we're signed on as with my user ID, and I have a bunch of other favorites in my folder. Your favorite folder within this reports module, as I understand it, is associated with your user ID. So like if you sign on, or, you know, someone from Happiest Baby, if you haven't done any reports, then yours would not have any scheduled reports in there.
Now, if I set up a report or a favorite and I want other people at Happiest Baby to see it, the only way that can happen is if we all share the same user ID. Is that it?
There is a way, and I can, let me get back over here. There's a way to share within a public folder in your ACE portal account.
Okay. Now, this report that you just set up, it's actually going to get emailed to us. Is that right?
Yes.
Wow,
You should have it on Friday.
that's cool.
So let me get into, here's the folders. If you wanted everyone in your ACE, in your organization who has an ACE portal user ID to see that, and this is an area that I will openly admit I have not played around with. I know the functionality exists because I've watched someone else demo it before.
Yeah.
You can put that scheduled report into your public ACE portal account folder here.
Yeah.
Like the way I just did it was from my Stacy Hallen. This is only visible to me.
Now, right now, we only have one user account that's under Irene's name.
Okay.
How do we establish more user accounts?
So look, let me go back over here. So the way that you establish more user accounts is through this, and because I'm not the trade account owner, I think Irene is. She's the one who has to do this. So she would go in here. It's probably not going to let me do it.
It's better for me
I
to
don't
share.
have access.
But
But
it would have to be her, right?
Either her or I'm not sure if Irene or Noel, or I'm sorry, Irene or Nicole gave me access earlier today. But that's one of the people who has trade account owner, or it's called proxy trade account owner. They would have to be the one that gives additional user IDs. So let me just. I saw her name. There it is. So you have, yeah, Irene is the trade account owner. It looks like, yeah, that's the only person that seems to have an account right now.
So it's under account menu, right? And then where do we go under account menu to add more users?
It's under tools.
Under tools.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, this is where, since I'm not the trade account owner, I don't have access to do
I see.
anything. But when Irene is signed on, she should be able to click on this and it will open up a menu that says add a existing ACE user, which is someone that already has a user ID,
Yeah.
or create a new one. And you have to fill out name, address,
Yeah.
it'll generate a user ID.
Okay, I got it. Hey, question. I mean, Stacy, thank you so much. But question, can you go to the home menu? And then can you go to under task list? Can you bring up the task list? See, like that's the fun part, is getting these little sub menus to appear when they don't appear. But there is a sub menu, like a kind of a sub window. Like right now, you've got like the quick links sub menu open, and you have the phone directory sub menu open. There's also a task list sub menu, and I don't know how you actually make that happen, but it's there. Maybe because you're not Irene, you can't see it. But can I just show you my screen for a second?
Sure.
Okay. All right. Come on. All right. So we all kind of share Irene's ID. So I'm logged in under Irene right now. And there's this form here. And it's funny because what we've done in the past and trying to look up things, like we'd enter a summary ID number here. You can see some of our previous entries. And we'd enter it, and then we'd see this form pop up over here. And it's the same form no matter what criteria or parameters we enter here. We get the same answer here. This one damn form.
So that just means that Customs has only electronically issued Happiest Baby 1 CF28, and it's currently showing in sent status.
And what does that mean?
From November of 2019, Customs, if you click on that where it has the purple, so this is an electronic version of the CF28. And we can double check that entry number and see what we have in our records.
Yeah.
But what they're saying, what this customs officer is saying, is that there was a post summary correction sent, and
you want me to scroll down?
Yeah, I was looking at their narrative there. They were saying that there's a post summary correction sent, and then they're asking something to be done. Basically, they wanted a revised entry summary, and once they received that, then the refund could be provided.
What refund?
That is from November of last year. My hope is that that's already been taken care of, and it's simply a matter of Customs not updating it in the ACE environment. So just a little bit of history on Customs communication with CF28s and 29s, that communication that they have, up to a year after the entry was originally done.
Yeah.
Those forms have always been mailed, believe it or not, snail mail, or they've been picked up by couriers that go to the customs office and pick them up out of brokers' boxes. It's been a slow and painful and still ongoing, as this is evidence, adaptation of using an electronic environment to communicate instead of snail mail and couriers picking up hard copies.
Uh-huh.
And customs is not, where did that come from?
Oh, so what I did is,
Oh, you printed it. Okay.
no, what I did is, so we were over here and it has these sub menus here.
Oh, yeah.
And so I was just kind of clicking around. That's kind of like, I've kind of got a addiction to clicking links. And so there was this thing under CBP attachments, nothing under trade attachments. So I clicked, oh, okay, well, what is this? This probably has some supplementary information. And I clicked that.
Yeah, that's what the form looks like when you get it in the mail or when the courier picks it up for you from the customs office.
So this is the PDF version of this.
Yes. So my hope is that we already responded to this and that it's been taken care of and your refund has been processed, but we can follow up on that.
Okay. All right, do you want this?
Jonathan, are you able to take down that entry number or?
I wrote it down.
Okay, yeah, so he and I will huddle up after the call and verify the action that took place on that. But what I was getting at earlier is customs is not always good at making updates. So hopefully Jonathan and I come back and say, hey, this was taken care of. Then the action would be to contact the Savon Williams lady that issued this thing at customs and say, Ms. Williams, because this CF28 was already closed out, can you please update it in the ACE portal to show, instead of sent, it should show complete.
Oh. And who would do that?
She would need to do that.
I mean, who would communicate with her?
We can, if you like. It can be either the importer or the broker.
Okay, and whoever communicates with her, what do? They just email her?
We can, that's probably what will have to happen. The way, in theory, the way this is supposed to work at the end of the day when ACE is adopted by everyone and everyone's experts with it,
Yeah.
we should be able to communicate with her through here and she should take action based on what we ask.
And if we wanted to communicate with her through here and kind of make it a record of this whole thing, would we be able to do it through this interface, like by clicking on this link? But,
yes, you're able to see where it says you can, down here, trade reply, and those where it has the red.
oh.
You
Okay,
You can fill it out there and then send it.
I see. And then once we do that, or if we were to do that, would that then appear as part of the record?
Yes.
Right now we have this, which is part of the record. And then let's say we do something in here. Now this is the reply, right? This is, I think this would say, like something like this would say, well, this is an assertion that we provided the required information, but it's not actually the provision of the required information itself. Is that correct?
Right. I mean, to me, the way I would handle this is do both. I would say we are working on, I would find another word besides cleaning up, but something to that effect, our ACE portal, and we'd like to make sure that the record that was communicated via email is also reflected here in our portal. Here's what was sent via email, and I would upload that in the trade attachment link.
So what are they asking for here?
They want the revised entry summary so that they can process the post entry.
So we're saying, hey, you know what? We need to correct a previously submitted entry summary.
Mm-hmm.
And so now they're saying, okay, give us that
Yeah,
that correct Give us the corrected entry summary.
Yeah, it's a little bit strange, the request. I don't know why that, usually those two things are submitted together.
I would imagine, right? Like if we're asking for a correction, we wouldn't just say, hey, we need this corrected and then wait for this and then give them the correction, right?
You're right, yeah. So it's a little weird. I'm not really sure what happened here. So
Okay.
we will verify what took place and then,
But let's say, so she's asking, okay, send us the corrected one and then we'll correct it. Would we be able to do that through this interface here or not?
yeah,
How would we attach it to this?
trade attachments.
Oh, but this is add. So this is on the reply side,
Yeah,
even though, so when it says trade attachments, that's what the broker or the importer attaches.
yep,
CBP attachments, that's what CBP attaches.
yep.
Entry summary lines, that's
That's
one
the
line.
one. Yeah,
So-
that's the line that was changed, and she's saying she needs a copy of the 7501.
Hold on a second. But it's possible for an entry summary to have multiple entry summary lines, is that right?
Yes, an entry summary can have up to 999 lines.
Okay, because like most of the ones we've seen have one line. I think, anyway.
Yeah, if you have multiple tariffs or multiple invoices or multiple countries of origin or all kinds of different variables, you could have multiple lines on your entry summary.
Because usually our shipment IDs are for a single shipment. It could have multiple containers, but it's from a single importer in a single country of origin.
And then is it usually just do you ever have replacement parts and things like that? Or is it always the same, like the sleeping bed?
Pretty much the sleeping bed or you know, the soft goods that sometimes we ship from India,
Uh-huh.
where they have multiple SKUs, and sometimes we have multiple HTS codes, you know, on a single shipment.
Yeah, so then those multiple HTS codes would reflect as multiple lines on the entry summary.
Gotcha. Okay. All right, thank you.
So I do want to show you something since this is a topic and it's a good one. If you can go, since you're in the portal, this is what I wanted to come back to, and then I think we're probably maybe going to be running out of time. If you can go back into the accounts tab.
Yeah.
And then mode of communication there on the bottom left, the purple link, mode of communication.
Yeah.
And the recommendation I'm going to make to you is that you need to click edit over there on the far right.
Oh, this is so intuitive, Stacy.
So see, right now they have. Wait a second. The happiest baby. Why is it not showing? It should be showing us mail and
That's weird, huh?
Yeah, when we select mode of communication, it should be giving us mail and portal. It maybe hit cancel. I'm perplexed. Try one more time, if you don't mind, the mode of communication. Oh, I know, it's because we have broker instead of importer, I believe.
Oh, yeah, see, we got caught in that trap.
Yep, I apologize for the dogs in the background.
Oh, that's okay. What kind of dogs do you have?
They're Havanese. They're little, are you familiar with those?
No.
They're like a Bichon. if you can hit edit. Okay, so now I would recommend selecting both. And what that does is that tells, they don't always abide by it, but I can think of 4 different importers that I've worked with that when they selected both, they had a much higher success rate of the individuals at customs, like that Yvonne Williams lady that issued that one in November of last year.
Yeah.
When they go into your account, they should see that you want to be communicated with both in the portal and by mail. So you'll have a higher chance of having better visibility to any time customs issues one of those documents. And then you can choose, working with your broker or brokers, do you want to respond in the portal or do you want to respond via email?
And mail means email, right?
No, mail means US Post Office, if there still is one.
And then portal means portal, not
Yes.
email.
Portal, yes, portal means the way Miss Williams did it in November.
Okay.
So now, since you click those 2 boxes, any future ones, Customs should send you the same document in those 2 different methods. So your broker should get a copy by mail, you should get a copy by mail, US Post Office, and then you also should see it in your portal. So there's, to me, that's a kind of a fail-safe way to make sure that you get it, because there can be ramifications if Customs issues those forms and they're not responded to. So that's why Jonathan and I will make sure that that one that's showing up in your portal was taken care of.
Okay. Wow, Stacy, this has been a lot of fun.
Glad you had fun, Gary.
I wonder if this is, so Laura and I are both CPAs, and I'm wondering if there's a CPE course on this. What do you think, Lauren?
I mean, I don't know if there would be or not. Is that what you're asking? It'd
Anyway,
be nice to get credit for it.
it would be nice. Anyway, this is really cool. You've really clarified a lot for us, Stacy, because we've actually been kind of bumping around in here trying to figure out how this thing works. And you've really clarified a lot for us. Really appreciate it.
Okay, yeah, and if you have any questions, you can hit me up. And then, like I said, those training videos are really, they're fun to, they are actually useful, and they're kind of funny to listen to the guy at Customs who
Okay.
recorded them.
Yeah, we look forward to that.
Okay, so I'll send, just to make sure, I'll send you the PowerPoint. I'll send you, Jonathan and I will huddle on that entry, and then the link to the training. And then I'm also going to ask Carlos about the API interface thing.
Sounds cool.
All right.
All right. Hey, thank you very much, Stacy. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you, Jesper, and everybody else at RIM. Thank you, Lauren.
Yeah, thank you, Blanca, for setting this up, and Jesper and Irene and Nicole for all your help with getting this whole thing set up, the ACH and everything. Irene for setting up the ACE portal, and Lauren for all your help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jonathan, anything you want to cover?
Oh yeah, Jonathan too. Thanks, Jonathan. You guys are always great help for us.
I think he just jumped off. I think he was going to cover the.
No, I think Jonathan's
I'm
I'm
there.
here.
He's there.
Jonathan, anything you want to cover in terms of sending out statements and stuff like that?
Yeah, so as Stacy was mentioning, there's 2 pathways to collecting data. One is this, what Stacy went over through the portal process. What I'll be sending you is the EDI broker interface portion, so it's the other avenue. It's virtually the same thing, but it'll be on a per day basis. So when an entry is released and timestamped, you have 8 days for the preliminary statement. And this is the daily that's going to be sent out to your team. And that's going to include 2 pages. One is the total version, which is a sort of like a bird's eye view of what's being paid. And then you've got the detailed sheet, which shows more in breakdown of charges. And then eventually on the schedule that Stacy had put up on her screen, you'll receive a periodic monthly statement, which is different than the daily statement that's going to be sent on a per entry. The monthly is only going to list the daily statement numbers, so you won't have any entry specific details. It'll just tell you which daily statements will be included in that monthly for withdrawal. So you'll receive two types of ACH statements from me, which is daily preliminary and monthly preliminary.
Thanks, Jonathan. Well, is there a way that we can get this information in tabular form? Meaning, like for any particular entry where we had to pay duties, how that breaks down by SKU, by SKU if possible. The lowest level of detail in a tabular form would be awesome.
Yeah, the statement's going to cover just the fees and total amount of duties that's being withdrawn from that. I think
At the shipment ID level?
right.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and what there is, and we could include this on your billing packet that gets sent out with RIM invoices.
Uh-huh.
That's the invoice line report, and that's
Yeah.
going to show you a breakdown of each line that's printed on the entry summary for the
Gotcha.
7501. And
Yeah.
that's going to give you more detail, but as far as the statements go, it'll just show you the entry number, our reference number, and total duties, fees, and amount paid to customs.
Okay. But like there's no like data warehouse somewhere where we can pull this stuff in tabular form, right? You have to get off these statements, right?
There are some reports that can be pulled. So
But
that
nothing below the shipment ID level, right?
there is an invoice lines detail report that shows the SKU level information as long as it's being input that way. So,
Yeah, but that's I've seen those on the RIM portal, and like each shipment has an invoice line items detail, a document. It's usually PDF, and it's really cool because it is in tabular form. You can export it to Excel. What I was wondering is if there's some kind of central vestibulary, if you will, where I could just go and get all of those in one place.
yes, in my experience, we can provide that. I mean, if it's basically an Excel format, is that what you mean?
Yeah, tabular format.
Yeah.
Yep. That would be awesome.
Okay.
We would love that. Make our job a lot easier.
So,
Anything that we can get in Excel format makes our job.
Gary, I mean, are you looking for like a monthly report, or are you looking for just the ability to retrieve data when you need it?
So I don't know if you guys have a few minutes, I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about.
No.
So every month we prepare an inventory in transit report, right? And this basically shows this shows like what's basically on the water, right? And then in order to basically get everything landed, let me pick a good one here. Let's see, Malt Armstrong Knitting Mills. Yeah, here's a good one. Armstrong, there's a good one. So Armstrong Knitting Mills, right? So hold on. So if I go, so basically what we do is we go to the RIM portal and we'll export the commercial invoices, and then we'll export the disbursement invoices. And sometimes there's two of these, as you know, from RIM. And then what we'll do is we'll basically allocate all that stuff across all the SKUs to get a fully landed cost. Now, it takes a lot of work to do this for every single shipment, as you can imagine. When you've got, when your inventory in transit has 50 to 100 lines on it, it can be like very labor intensive. Like to put a document together like this with all the support takes us about a week. And so it would be awesome if we could actually go as much as possible, right? If the data already exists, to be able to pull that information in the form of tables from RIM would be awesome. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I'll actually do some research on this. I think last time we had a conference call, it was brought up where we were trying to provide a landed cost report for you. I'll check with the team and see if we had any progress in that and keep you posted. But this is definitely something that would be separate from the ACH statement report, but we can definitely work on this on the side.
Okay. And you know, we don't have to hit a home run all at once. Like, for
Sure.
example, if we could get the duties that way, right? But
Right.
you know, that would be something, right?
So I guess, Gary, a question from my side will be, are you guys able to push your packing list, invoices, EDI into our system? Because that might be something that could be helpful to generate that report, right?
Understood. Now, as you might, I mean, that stuff comes from our suppliers.
Yeah.
And we'd have to check with our suppliers to see if they can do that.
Because we have some customers who the ERP system will be connected, right? And then they can essentially push the data into our system. It doesn't have to be the actual invoice, right? But it's the same data that comes from the invoice.
Yeah.
And they'll push that in.
Yeah.
And then if that goes into our system, then we can work with that data backwards, right? That might be
That makes
an
sense.
option too. I mean, it's just something I'm bringing up because that could be one of the questions we get back, right? When
That makes total sense, Jesper. Is it Jesper or Jesper?
Jesper, I guess.
Yes, that makes total sense, Jesper.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Do anybody on the Happiest Baby side have any more questions?
No, not at the moment. Thank you.
Nope.
All right. Hey, thanks a lot for staying overtime with us. Really appreciate it.
Nope.
Sure, not
Thank
a
you.
problem.
Any questions? Let us know. We're here to help.
Okay.
You can reach any of us.
Have an awesome day. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone. Thank
Take
you.
care. Bye.
Bye.